Dolphins Today is sponsored by RexMD. You can get 90% off at rexmd.com/chat. We'll tell you more about that great deal later on in today's show. And on today's show, we're looking at the top trade destinations for Dolphins wide receiver Ced Wilson. He has been in a lot of trade rumors recently. We're going to break down some of the top destinations for Wilson if the Dolphins opt to move him. Be sure you subscribe, because if the Dolphins do trade Ced, or anybody else for that matter, we're certainly going to have you guys covered. Hit that subscribe button below, because we get you daily Miami Dolphins videos. So Ced Wilson is someone we've talked about before in terms of being a possible trade candidate. And the main reason for that is because you could clear a significant amount of cap space moving him. In fact, the Dolphins would create $6 million in cap space moving him before June 1st. That number goes up to $7 million post June 1st. And right now, Miami only has $3 million in cap space. So when you're looking at Ced, he's someone that really just did not get involved a whole lot last year. You have an opportunity to maybe move him if a team's interested and clear a lot of cap space. And if you combine that with the money you're getting from the Byron Jones post June 1 cut designation, the Dolphins could clear $20.6 million in cap space. I mean, that is a lot of money the Dolphins could clear up on June 1st if they trade Cedric Wilson, because they're going to get $13.6 million from the Byron Jones cut. Now, I want to hear from y'all down in the comments section. Should Miami trade Ced Wilson? Type T for trade or type P for pass. Down in the comment section, go down and let me know. It is the pinned comment, so reply to it when you get a second. Type T for trade or type P for pass. Ced had a breakout year in 2021 in Dallas. He was one of the better wide receivers in free agency. Last offseason, after a 45-reception year, over 600 yards, 6 touchdowns. Look at the numbers, though, in Miami in 2022. Just not impressive. 12 receptions, 136 yards, no touchdowns. He was expected to be the third wide receiver behind Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and he just was not that guy. We still have him tapped here as wide receiver 3 because Trent Sherfield is gone, but Berrios, maybe Ezukanma, could step into that role if Ced Wilson were to get traded. Now let's break down the top 5 trade destinations for Cedric Wilson if the Dolphins opt to move him, and we begin with the Minnesota Vikings. They are looking to contend this next season, coming off a 12-win year in 2022. And their wide receiver room without Adam Thielen just looks a lot different. Now, they still have 2 really good wide receivers in Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne. I'm not really sure how they feel about Jalen Naylor and some other guys, especially Jalen Reagor, on this team. So they might want to add some depth at wide receiver, maybe trading for Cedric Wilson. And, you know, some people are asking about the trade value. I think it's a 6th or 7th round pick. I don't think it's anything crazy. Maybe they'll want to give up a 6th or 7th, go and get a guy they feel like can be their third wide receiver this next season. Want to tell you about our sponsor over at RexMD. Fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? We've all had those nights where we get too nervous or maybe had too much to drink. There's nothing worse than not being able to put the stick shift in drive when you need it the most. But have no fear, RexMD is here, spreading cheer even when you had too many beers. RexMD is FDA approved and the most trusted leader in men's telehealth. They have sponsored today's show to help you always be prepared. RexMD has made it simple, easy, and cost-effective to help all the men out there last longer and feel more confident in the bedroom. RexMD makes getting generic and branded Viagra or Cialis easy. Everything's online, even the prescription, and they deliver it discreetly to your door. No waiting rooms, no embarrassing trips to the doctor, no insurance, and no copays. Take advantage of their best deal they've ever offered and save up to 90% off and only pay $2 per dosage with our exclusive link. Go to rexmd.com/chat for this limited time deal. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available to help our listeners get started. That's rexmd.com/chat, 90% off. Only pay $2 per dosage. Fantastic deal. Go and take advantage of it. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video, rexmd.com/chat. The Baltimore Ravens, they obviously just added Odell Beckham Jr., but they are still looking to improve the wide receiver room. OBJ's their clear wide receiver one, which is fine, but he's also kind of old. He has the injury concerns coming off the torn ACL. Nelson Aguilar is not that great. I mean, Ced Wilson would probably be a better third option than him. So I could see the Ravens, who are trying to maybe convince Lamar to stay, take back his trade request, go out and get Cedric Wilson, add another wide receiver to that room because they still need to improve that wide receiver room. Still a lot of work to do over in Baltimore. And then number 3, the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, I mean, they're probably going to trade Aaron Rodgers, probably the Jets. But still, if Jordan Love's the guy, Jordan Love has got to have some weapons. And right now, there's just not a whole lot of weapons for him on this team. So I could see the Packers as a team that's been linked to Hopkins. They were linked to OBJ a little bit. Maybe linked to Ced Wilson if the Dolphins make him available in a trade. Number 2 on my list, Ced Wilson's former team, the Dallas Cowboys. They apparently kind of regret letting Ced Wilson walk. And this wide receiver room is really solid. They have Lamb, they have Cooks, they have Gallup. But like I said, the Cowboys regret letting Ced Wilson go. They feel like they really missed him this past season. So if the opportunity presented itself to bring Wilson back to Dallas and only give up a 6th or a 7th round pick to do it, maybe that's something that the Cowboys would entertain. But number 1 on my list is the Los Angeles Chargers, because Kellen Moore, his former offensive coordinator, is now the offensive coordinator with the Chargers. And the Chargers definitely need more help on offense, especially at wide receiver. They have Keenan Allen, but they want to get some more weapons this offseason for Justin Herbert. I'm a little bit surprised they weren't more aggressive in free agency, going out and getting some receivers. So maybe Kellen Moore, with that Cedric Wilson connection, would be interested in bringing Ced Wilson out west to the Los Angeles Chargers, having him be a new weapon for Justin Herbert. Will Ced Wilson get traded? Y for yes or N for no down in the comment section. I'm going to say no for a couple reasons. Number 1, his contract is going to make him very difficult to trade. I think if he does get traded, the Dolphins are probably going to have to eat some of that contract. He's owed, $14 million over the next 2 years, base salary. So his contract is difficult to move. But also, I feel like the Dolphins know that he can be a lot more productive than he was last season, and they might want to hold on to him for that reason. We'll have you covered if a trade happens, if we hear any more trade rumors. So be sure to subscribe to the channel right now.